It's kind of weird doing this because it's just a Wednesday. We haven't even practiced yet. So some things, injury-wise, I don't have great answers for you. But whatever I got, I'll do my best.
What have the last couple of days of practice been like?
They've been great. Yeah, we've really practiced. They've shown up and they've been energized and ready to go. So we practiced tonight. So we walked on Monday. I thought very focused. We practiced yesterday. I thought it was probably one of our better practices. So we'll see how tonight goes and tomorrow morning. But they've responded so far.
Matt, what communication have you had with the University of Illinois regarding the fire inside their stadium last night?
Yeah, I think Keith just mentioned they sent something. Yeah, I know Susan talked to their people last night, and they said it was not as big of a deal as it sounded like. I was hoping we could play here. So, no, but I'm glad everything's okay there, obviously, and glad everything's okay.
Is Lenhart ready to go?
Yep, Cameron will play. Yep.
What have you seen out of asked Tony about this the other day, but Prince Will, just, I know he's versatile and you got him at that jack spot and what he can maybe do down the stretch of this season for you.
Yeah, Prince Will is an excellent football player. His growth right now has been really good, in the midst of, sometimes when you look at it from 500 feet, you're like, man, we don't really have the results we want. But then you look at it on a really granular micro level, you have guys like Prince Will that are really developing and getting better. Like in that game, Riley Van Poppel played in that game last week and wasn't knocked back, wasn't in any way outclassed, wasn't in any way, so I think we have some young players that are really, really going to be good players, and Prince Will's one of them. So he's versatile, he's explosive, so he'll continue to find roles for us.
Are there other spots, the D-line, I think everybody is kind of excited about what it can be. Are there some other spots you point out where you see that, where it's you like what it can be in the big picture?
Like this year or moving forward?
Yeah, just like young guys where you're seeing that and you're thinking like that's going to look nice.
Yeah, our young receivers are going to be good. I know everyone's kind of like, well, how come you can't get them to play right now? It's tough, but they're going to be really talented. They're really talented. And they're going to be really good, and I think they're going to start to help. Like I expect Jaden to play this week. Finally now. Our young D line. Ty Robinson was in there with me. Yesterday we were talking, and he was just talking about kind of the process and the way we do things, and the practicing on Sunday, practicing on Wednesday, and was just saying how good he thought our young D line would be going through this for 2 or 3 years. What this type of, as hard as it is, what this type of schedule and standards are, how talented those guys are. Those guys are talented. We haven't seen all of them yet. You've seen Sua a little bit, Riley. Vincent Carroll Jackson will probably travel for us this week. So there's a lot of guys in those rooms that I think are outstanding prospects.
What's the challenge, or maybe how important is it to bring your own energy on the road on a Friday night, and maybe it won't be as energetic as some games you guys have played in?
Yeah, Coach Reed, Andy Reed, when I was at Temple, he was in Philadelphia. I know his family really well, and Coach Reed would always say to his team, which would then matriculate to me, all great teams do 3 things. They eliminate distractions, they create their own energy, they fear nothing, attack everything. And so creating our own energy, that's what we try to do at practice, and we simulate that. Like even going out at La Tech in the rain delay, trying to create your own energy. When you're having a tough ball game like last week, you have to try to create your own energy. Some guys did, some guys didn't. We created a lot of energy on Sunday night, and no one was watching. We created a lot of energy yesterday morning. We'll have to do that Friday night. It'll be great to be on the road. They'll have, I haven't been to Illinois since I was a player, but I'm sure they'll have an excellent atmosphere. But on the road together, it's all of us just kind of huddled on the sideline, and that's really where some of the growth for our team is. In terms of that winning mindset of what happens when they take the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. Let's say, what happens if you're down by 14? Where's your energy at then? And to me, some guys are really starting to step up and realize, like, hey, I can be that guy. Right now it's the coaches, and, I'm not equipped to do that. So can it be Tommy Hill? Can it be Giff? Can it be Ty Robinson? Can it be, can it be Ethan Piper? Can it be Heinrich or Jeff or Billy Kemp? Who are those guys going to be for us? And that's that's part of this process. And so this will be a real challenge for us Friday night in all these areas.
What have you seen from Illinois' defensive tackle Johnny Newton on tape?
He's an excellent football player. High draft pick. Powerful, two gap, makes plays down the line, can torque you in the pass rush game. Their scheme, because they play with 5 down linemen basically 90% of the time, creates 5 one-on-ones. So you have to win 5 blocks, and they have to just win 1 pass rush, or 1 run block to have a successful play. So it's a real challenge, but he's an excellent football player. And so he's one of those guys you have to game plan around. You have to do things to account for him. At the same time, understanding that they have other guys who can hurt you. And so it'll be a real challenge.
Not to jump too far ahead, but what do off weeks, bye weeks look like for you and your partner? Like, how often do you have them practice? Like, how does it process?
I'll probably wait till after this game to answer that.
Yeah. I didn't know when we were going to talk to you next.
No, I'm always around. You guys can always talk to me, but we'll get some recruiting done next week. But just in terms of what exactly the schedule is, they have a general idea, but I've also kind of let them know, like, hey, let's go play. Let's worry about Friday night first. So they'll get some time next weekend to go home and be with their families. We'll recruit, but we have to get better as a team. Regardless of what the result is, we have to continue to get better. There's a lot of football left, and I think this team's development has probably been hurt in some ways by not going to a bowl game, because bowl games are so vital. Well, bye weeks are vital, and so you can't waste bye weeks, and you can't waste bowl games, because it's extra practice for all those young players. So, we'll get a lot of work done this week.
Have you found in your time, though, leading up to a bye week, that game before that, are guys a little more incentivized to go all out, knowing that there is a little bit of a respite coming?
I think they'd probably be, if it's true, they'd probably be scared to say that to me. When I was at University of Buffalo, I was 24 years old. I was the youngest Division I full-time assistant coach in the country, and we got fired with 3 games left. And I remember my dad saying, how you coach these next 3 weeks is who you are as a coach. If you coach less, you're no good. And if you coach harder now because you want to win so you can keep your job, then you weren't coaching hard enough to begin with. So we're just trying to get these guys to be the same guy every day. So I think the coming off of last week's game and the challenge and the opportunity on Friday night, and then the way we've worked this week, I think guys are hopefully just pretty much locked in on tonight's practice and tomorrow morning, and then getting up there and playing a good game.
What's the philosophy about practicing at night on Wednesdays?
Why do we do that?
Yeah.
Partially a class schedule thing, to give them some opportunities to be able to, there's different majors and different classes. So we have a lot of guys, like we had guys this morning in accounting and engineering and construction engineering. So part of it's the class schedule. Part of it is because we're a Friday practice team, there's 36 hours between Tuesday's practice and Wednesday. So we can practice hard on Tuesday and then practice hard on Wednesday. We can lift this. So all the guys came in and lifted this morning. So they practice Tuesday, they meet Tuesday night, they close up kind of what happened on Tuesday. A lot of guys, if they're good players and they're good at the process, they do some film study. They come in Wednesday, they lift. A lot of guys kind of do some stuff extra, but they have a little more time to recover. So we can still work really hard on Wednesday, but they're just kind of not beat up still from Tuesday. So it's a little bit class, a little bit that, and then we come in Thursday morning. So they turn right around after Wednesday night, and Thursday morning we walk through. And then usually we practice on Fridays. This week, obviously, we can't. So we'll play on Friday. Anybody else? All right. Thanks, guys.